ready to get started. If the board members could please make sure you have your microphones on. Okay, good evening. The hour being 6:30 PM on Monday, May 13th, 2024. I'd like to call to order the Village of Brookfield Board meeting. Would everyone please join me in a pledge of allegiance to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Bridget, can we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Ketchmark?
Here.
Trustee Cote?
Here.
Trustee Hendricks?
Here.
Trustee Niramatsu?
Here.
Trustee Gilhuli?
Here.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Here.
And President Garvey.
Here. Thank you, Bridget. We have several items under appointments and presentations. The first item, I'd entertain a motion to appoint Megha Patel to the Brookfield Conservation Commission with a term expiring May 13th, 2027.
So moved. Second.
The motion was made by Trustee Kaluzny, second by Trustee Hendricks. Any questions or comments on the appointment?
I have several. Megha, we're so excited to have you come back to the commission. Thank you so much for your service the first time around. Thank you for taking a step out of the commission to focus on the South Kiwanis Task Force and volunteering a lot of extra time over the last year doing that and wanting to come back afterwards to keep seeing the project forward. So we're just really thrilled that you're returning and can continue to work with the commission on this. So thank you.
Any other questions or comments? I also was excited to see your email in my inbox when I heard it was a rumor, so thank you. Can we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Niramatsu?
Aye.
Trustee Gilhuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. I'm going to skip over the next item for a minute. I don't see Mr. St. John here. I'll read some proclamations really slowly. Maybe he'll arrive by then, so.
Do I swear her in?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. My first meeting. Megha, could you please come up and be sworn in? Yeah, I'm off tonight.
Okay, Megha. Raise your right hand. I, Megha Patel,
I, Megha Patel,
having been appointed to the Office of Conservation Commission
having been appointed to the Office of Conservation Commission
in the Village of Brookfield,
in the Village of Brookfield,
in the County of Cook,
and the County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United
that
States,
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
and that I would faithfully discharge the Office of Conservation Commission
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my abilities.
Thank you, Megha.
Got to have you sign, so we got you locked in.
All right, sounds good. Now remember the date, May 13th, 2027.
Thank you, ma'am.
We could redo it again then.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, so I will move on to the proclamations. We'll come back to the other appointments. The first proclamation we have is for Motorcycle Awareness Month. Whereas safety is the highest priority for the highways and streets of our village and state, and whereas the great state of Illinois is proud to be a national leader in motorcycle safety, education, and awareness, where motorcycles are a primary, common, and economical means of transportation that reduces fuel consumption and road wear and contributes in a significant way to the relief of traffic and parking congestion. And where it is especially meaningful that the citizens of our village and state be aware of motorcycles on the roadway and recognize the importance of motorcycle safety. Whereas the members of ABATE of Illinois, a brotherhood aimed towards education, continually promote motorcycle safety, education, and awareness in high school driver's education programs and to the public in our village and state, presenting motorcycle awareness programs to over 120,000 participants in Illinois over the past 9 years. And whereas all motorcyclists should join ABATE of Illinois in actively promoting the safe operation of motorcycles, as well as promoting motorcycle safety, education, awareness, and respect of the citizens of the village and state. Whereas the motorcyclists of Illinois have contributed extensive volunteerism and money to national and community charitable organizations. And whereas during the month of May, all roadway users should not unite in the safe sharing of roadways within the village of Brookfield and throughout the state of Illinois. Now therefore, I, Michael J. Garvey, President of the Village of Brookfield in the great state of Illinois, in recognition of 37 years of Abate of Illinois Incorporated and over 352,318 registered motorcyclists statewide, and in recognition of the continued role Illinois serves as a leader in motorcycle safety, education, and awareness, I do hereby proclaim the month of May this year, 2024, as Motorcycle Awareness Month in the Village of Brookfield, and urge all residents to join to improve safety and awareness on our roadways. Thank you. Is there- The next proclamation we have is for National Safe Boating Week, May 18th to the 24th, 2024. Whereas recreational boating continues to grow as a popular way for millions of Americans to relax with their families, and whereas increased public participation in this healthy outdoor sport has emphasized the need for greater attention to courtesy, safety, and education to minimize incidents which lead to boating mishaps. And whereas a significant number of boaters who lost their lives by drowning would have survived had they worn a life jacket. And whereas the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary Flotilla 37-25, Division 37, District 9, Western Region, which represents Salt Creek and Des Plaines River, supports National Safe Boating Week and provides boater safety education, which results in our waterways providing a relatively safe and almost accident-free environment. Now, therefore, I, Michael J. Garvey, as Village President of Brookfield, Illinois, do hereby support the goals of the North American Safe Boating Campaign and proclaim May 18th to the 24th, 2024 as National Safe Boating Week in the Village of Brookfield, and urge all residents to always practice safe boating techniques while on our lakes and waterways. I'll be honored to sign this. And last but not least, the third proclamation for the night, proclamation of National Public Works Week. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the Village of Brookfield. And whereas these infrastructure systems, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees who are responsible for operating, rebuilding, improving, and protecting our village's transportation, drinking water, wastewater, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for the daily lives of Brookfield residents, businesses, and visitors. Whereas it is in the public interest of the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the Village of Brookfield to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2024 marks the 64th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association and Canadian Public Works Association, be it now resolved that I, Michael J. Garvey, do hereby designate the week of May 19th to the 25th, 2024 as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing quality of life for all. I have set my hand and caused the village seal to be fixed on this date, May 13th, 2024. Again, I'm honored to sign this, and I just want to publicly acknowledge, I know we have the best public works department around, very dedicated management and employees, and, you know, a lot of times it goes unnoticed. They're not just, you know, regular hour shifts, water main breaks and snowstorms and tree damage does not come on a regular schedule. So these are staff and employees are out there at all hours and sometimes not in the best conditions, and they do a tremendous job. So I just, on behalf of myself and the village board, I just want to thank them. So, all right. We had one more appointment to the Conservation Commission that is not here. I think what we'll do is I'll ask for a vote on it, and then we can swear him in if he arrives, or we can arrange for him to be sworn in another time. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to appoint Logan St. John to the Brookfield Conservation Commission with the term expiring May 13th, 2027.
So moved.
Second.
The motion was made by trustee Kaluzny, second by trustee Gahuli. Any questions or comments on this appointment?
Just want to share, Logan's been an active volunteer at Restoration Workdays, helping with Native Plants Club of Brookfield, and so we're really excited to have him join the commission. Excited to have him work with us.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the board? Okay, hearing none, can we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Yes.
Trustee Mirmatsu?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. If he comes in during the meeting, we'll arrange to, I'll pause the meeting and have him sworn in. Otherwise, we can have arranged to have him sworn in. Okay, that ends the items we have under appointments and presentations. At this point in the meeting, I will open it up to public comment. Does any member of the public on this side wish to make any comment? Any member of the public on this side? Okay, hearing no public comment, let's move on to reports of special committees, please. Trustee Cote?
I would like to make a motion to approve corporate warrant dated May 13th, 2024, in the amount of $1,546,684.89.
Second.
All right, the motion was made by trustee Cote, and I'm going to say trustee Kaluzny seconded it. Any question, or highlights, anything you want to point out, trustee Cote?
Yeah, I did want to point out again the flood mitigation program. We did have 4 residents take advantage of it, totaling at $14,000. I encourage our residents, those who are having problems with their basements, water coming back in, please look into our flood mitigation program. You can get, there's 3 options for repair, and the village will help you with 50% of that up to $5,000.
Okay. Any other questions or comments related to the warrant? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Mirmatsu?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
In regards to DPW, this is Public Works Week. I would like to remind everybody, as you see our men and women around town working, please tip your hat to them, give them a wave, give them a smile. They would really appreciate it. They do a lot of hard work for us. Utilities Division, they worked, speaking of water main breaks, they did fix a water main break on Burlington. They were also working on energizing the water system for the Ehlert splash pad. They also completed the inspections for Veterans Memorial Fountain, which, by the way, looks absolutely fantastic. The VFW could not be any happier. I dare to say I think it looks better now than it did when it was brand new. It was absolutely fantastic job. It looks so good, and driving in, seeing it running, couldn't be happier. So they are very happy right now.
That jinxed us.
Yeah, hopefully it'll last more than a week this time, right? So that would be good. It doesn't glow in the dark at night, which we kind of wish it would to stop, big yellow flashers, but it does not. Our Streets Division dragged and leveled the fields at Ehlert Park and closed out over 39 C-Click fix requests. And thanks to DPW for the work they did, replacing the asphalt around Gav, the field right here, in the smaller field in the back, in Kiwanis. It looks great, great job. Thank you very much. And as always, reminding the residents, the best method to get things done in the village is to put in a request through C-Click Fix. If you see an issue, you see something that needs to be taken care of, please put it in. You can download the app on your phone. You could take a picture. You could show exactly what it is. It'll even do a locate of where you're standing to help DPW know exactly where the situation is. Please, that is the best way to get to them. Regarding the library does have many upcoming events, but I do want to touch base on one of them. Tomorrow night is Taylor Swift Craft Night. So for all, I refuse to call you Swifties, but for all you Tay-Tay fans out there, from 4:30 to 5:30 for age groups 1 through first grade through 5th grade. Unfortunately, I will not be allowed to attend because I don't meet the age group. But you can meet new friends, make friendship bracelets, and have snacks and listen to Taylor Swift music, and it sounds like a blast. So please go to the village website, the library website. Go to the library website, try to find out more, everything else that's going on. There are a lot of events coming up. But just go to the library, 4:30, age groups 1st grade through 5th grade. So I am out on that one. On to something a little bit more serious to my heart. I would like to read you the same numbers that I have been doing for years regarding the places that you can call for veterans. 22 a day, I want to remind you, 22 a day we lose to suicide. That number changes. You hear 24, 21. The accepted number is 22 a day. I have lost 6 now within 3 years. 6. The last one being 3 weeks ago. Our VA system is broken. The VA system is turning people away. If you are one of those individuals, like myself, where the VA system has turned you away, citing that you already have health insurance or you make too much money, it's ridiculous. It is a right that is granted to you for the service that you provided, much less going to war for this country. You should be able to be seen at the VA. With that note, Congressman Chuy Garcia is hosting a Veteran Resource Fair where he is going to have representatives from Hines Hospital there to register you, to get you registered in the VA system. Please tell your friends, please tell other veterans. It is going to be on Wednesday, May 29th, 2024. It's at 125 North 19th Avenue in Melrose Park. That is Chuy Garcia's office in Melrose Park. Wednesday, May 29th from 4 to 7 p.m. They will have representatives from the VA there to ensure that you do not get turned away, and then you can sign up for your health care benefits that are given to you by right for the service that you committed to this country. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Trustee Cote, for that important reminder. Trustee Gahuli, Chamber of Commerce, I was going to have the music queued up.
I am so sorry to start that off that way.
I was gonna,
apologize.
No, that's okay.
But is there anything to report on the Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah, so the chamber has not met in a meeting form since we last met. But they do have, and they did change their meeting. It would have been today. They changed it to next Monday, the 20th at 12 p.m. in the lower level of the Brookfield Library. I mean, anyone is welcome to attend. I just want to name a few things before we get to the bling here. We've had so many ribbon cuttings lately that it is very hard to keep up. So I'm not going to list them all. But thank you to my fellow board members for attending whenever. Again, it's hard to keep up with all of them, which is a really good problem to have. So Just Wallpaper was, I think, the most recent one over on Broadway. So welcome them to town. Many others, Sage and Stone Apothecary, et cetera. They're also just to the chamber, businesses that have already been here, some in Brookfield, some close to Brookfield, like Matone's Restaurant, also a new chamber member. So it's really growing, and I think these businesses are really seeing a lot of value of being part of the organization, which is really great. The farmers market, this team is so busy. They're working year-round to make this a really special program every week, every Saturday over here on the west side of Village Hall. It starts June 1st. So mark your calendars, get ready to come walk and join in all of that fun with lots of new vendors and lots of great returning ones starting Saturday, June 1st. And also just mark your calendar for July 21st for the Classic Car Show that will be along Grand Avenue as well. So that's always a big hit. So just save that date on your calendar. Dancing with the Chamber was April 27th. Was a lot of fun. So came away with a little trophy here. So we bring it. Made by Amy Weinert at First National Bank. So thank you to Amy for this wild trophy. And I do want to give a shout out to the other chamber members who were part of the event and put in all the hours and the time and got up on that stage, afraid or not, and put themselves out there for the fun in the community. And thank you everybody for the support. It was just incredible to see so many people in the audience and to hear the screaming, and it was really something, I got to tell you. But they deserve some recognition for themselves and for their businesses for doing this, so I just want to call out their names. So Marco Granja, he's from State Farm Insurance here in Brookfield. Alberto Jaquez from Riverside Brookfield High School, he's a dean there. Mary Mish from Tischler Finer Foods. Wendy Moore from Daisy's Treats and Bakery right here on Grand. Dan Parcell from More Than Hair. Phil Richard from it says First National Bank of Brookfield, but Brookfield Bank now. Reverend Carl Sokol from Compassion. Church, Araceli Maria Verdesco from Locomoca, and Chris Valadez from Cycle Brookfield. So it was so fun to be part of this with all of them, and I didn't know everyone before this, so that was a really, really nice treat to be able to extend my network and just get to know people a little bit better within the community. So thanks again for all the support, and that's it.
I think she should parade this down.
I'm not going to make her show any of her moves,
Once was
but
enough.
you did an excellent job, Nicole, and I know it was a lot of work, and the chamber, it was just a great night for the community. There was some first-time people there and walked out of there, and you know you're doing something good when they say, can we do this again more often? And after knowing how much work has gone into this, when we do something really good, they want to do it more often. This takes a lot of work, and I'll leave it up to the chamber when they do the next one, but
Right, yeah, it does take a lot from them, from all the promotional pieces to the finding space to practice, and, yeah, it was a lot, and I'm sure people who own small businesses too, having to take this time out of their day to go, especially on like Saturday afternoon practices, and so I know it was a balancing act for many, but I think it was worth it, and, yeah, it was just, I couldn't believe the turnout. Really, really fun to see and hear. Really kind of, I think nobody knew quite what to expect, and it blew us all away. So, yeah, I hope they do it
congratulations and
again.
thank you.
And I encourage anyone else, if they approach you to come and do something like this, think about it.
President
About it.
Garvey could, right? Yeah.
Right? Just consider it. Yeah, somebody might be tapping on your shoulder next year.
All right, on that note,
And that ends my report.
thank you, Trustee Gahuli. Trustee Hendricks, Planning and Zoning?
Next meeting, May 23rd.
Thank you. Trustee Ketchmark, Administration, Economic Development?
Next meeting of the Economic Development Commission is this Wednesday, the 15th at 5:30, and I will report back after that.
Thank you. Trustee Intermatson, Parks and Recreation?
I wanted to report on a few things since I missed the last meeting, but we, on April 21st, we had a really great volunteer fair that was put on by Parks and Rec Department and two of our commissioners, Patty Chimura and Mary Viscassel. It went really well. We had over 24 organizations and over 50 people who attended, and it was, I think, a really great chance to make connections between people who are interested in being more involved and organizations that need the help. So thank you to them and to Director Gunderson for putting that on. The Ellert Park, so we just had the open house for Ellert Park improvements this past week. I'll provide a more detailed summary at the next meeting because I think that we just got the report back on that one. But it was very well attended and folks were pretty engaged, so it went really well. And then the summer park and recreation brochure is planned to be mailed out this week, so keep an eye out in your mailboxes. And our next meeting is Tuesday, May 21st at 6:30.
Thank you. Trustee Kaluzny, Conservation and Beautification?
Yes, the Beautification Commission held Project Nice on May 4th and we had a beautiful day. It was nice out and not raining or snowing. And so a lot of folks came out to help. Wanted to thank some of the larger groups that helped clean up some larger areas, the Brookfield Garden Club, Brookfield Women's Club, and the RB Helping Paws. Want to thank Public Works for coordinating all of the different sites and helping people pick up all of the bags that they picked up afterwards. And thank you to all of the residents that helped out that day, both returning faces that I've seen for years and also a lot of new people that were doing it for the first time. So it was a really great day for everybody and a nice event to bring folks together. Their next meeting is tomorrow, May 14th at 6:30 p.m. here at Village Hall. The Conservation Commission was not able to have their April meeting. They did not have quorum, but I'm excited to have two new commissioners to help with quorum. So thank you, Mega, for jumping back in. They did, however, in the last month, they held an education program at the library on May 7th for Compost Awareness Week. And they're working on an ad for the green issue of the Landmark that's coming out in a couple of weeks, and that'll lead to the newly adopted sustainability plan on the website. And then their next meeting will be a joint meeting with Parks and Rec on May 21st to talk about one of the agenda items is the South Kiwanis plan. So we'll be meeting with them, and then their regularly scheduled meeting is May 28th at 6:30 p.m. Here at Village Hall. That ends my report.
Thank you, Trustee Kaluzny. In terms of Solid Waste Agency and WCMC, both of those groups had their full membership meeting April 24th in North Riverside. I attended on behalf of the village board. The the West Central Municipal Conference, we passed our annual fiscal year budget. They're not on the calendar year, but we passed that budget, and there was discussion, and I was not able to participate. On May 7th, they had their legislative drive down where the members of the legislative committee and staff and representatives from several municipalities drove down to meet with our state legislators and try to advance our legislative agenda, you know, protecting items of local interest and local control and local revenue sources. And we'll get a report back on the success of that and the information they got, and I'll fill in the board at the next meeting. The Brookfield Zoo, and we've done a very good job of putting this out there. They're doing some work on the south parking lot this week, and they've done a good job of coordinating with us the traffic issues and things, so there will be a little bit of a backup. They're trying to encourage everyone to go to the North Gate, but things with the activities at the high school, there is some construction traffic going on during the day at the south gate, so just be aware of that. That ends my report and ends the reports of special committees. At this point, I'd entertain a motion to pass the omnibus agenda.
So moved. Second.
The motion was made by trustee Gahuli, seconded by trustee Kaluzny. Roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Nearmatu?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. And just to note, one of the items on the omnibus agenda, our next meeting would have been on Memorial Day. We're not going to meet on Memorial Day. That regularly scheduled meeting is canceled and moved to the next day, the Tuesday, the day after Memorial Day. That's part of what action we just took, so. Okay, we're going to move on to items under regular business. The first item, I'd entertain a motion to pass a resolution to award a contract for the 2024 Water Main Improvements Project to Suburban General Construction in the amount of $5,096,158.65.
So moved.
Second.
The motion was made by trustee Gotay, second by trustee Kaluzny. Before I get into board comment or discussion, I'm going to ask if village engineer Derek Treichel, is there anything information you want to share with the board on this?
I would. Since these are such large projects, I thought I'd give a little background for everybody before we go into the analysis of the bids. I know we went out to bid for 4 different projects. The first one being the 2024 water main improvements, and then we had 3 separate lead water service improvement projects. This is the culmination of a lot of work. As you all know, we started back in 2021. The board passed a water rate increase so we could start replacing some of our aging water mains. And then in 2022, we had to come back and pass an additional water rate increase because of the new requirements for replacing lead water services. You have that PDF with the map that we could display? There we go. Feel free to blow it up a little if you want. But so the first project, just a quick summary on these projects. The first one is the 2024 Water Main Improvements Project. It includes the replacement of approximately 6,000 feet of water main. Again, we're replacing 100-plus-year-old water main. And these streets are shown in green. So there's 7 streets on there. And they include replacing the old water mains and installing new water services on 7 different streets. Second project that we are seeking to award contract for is lead water service replacement project, and we called them Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3. So Phase 1 is the first project, includes the installation of 224 copper water services. Again, they're replacing the existing lead water services, and on the location map, those are the streets shown in yellow. And the way we selected those streets is we met with Public Works, and we prepared a 5-year capital improvements program. And what we're trying to do with these lead water service replacement projects is get out in front of our street improvements project. That way, we won't have to, after we pave the street, we won't have to come back afterwards and dig up the street to make connections to the water main, which in most of the cases in Brookfield is out in the street. The second project is the 2024 lead water service replacement project Phase 2. That includes the installation of 228 copper water services, and on that location map, those are the streets shown in blue. And again, those streets are related to the next 2 years of street improvements project. You can see we're getting the north side of town. We've got some, one of the collector routes, Maple Avenue, and then we have a few other streets. Those are what we've tentatively identified as the next round of street improvements. And the third and final lead water service replacement project is Phase 3, includes the installation of 186 copper water services. And on that location map, those streets are shown in red. That represents the streets that are going to be improved or proposed to be improved in 2029 and 2030. So what this allowed us to do, as a reminder, we were initially awarded $2 million from the EPA for lead water service replacement. They anticipate this being the one and only year where we're able to get a significant increase in lead service funds, because a lot of the communities, the disadvantaged communities that were awarded funds, dropped out this year, because starting next year, they may be able to get loan forgiveness. So we're able to scoop up an additional $5.5 million worth of funding this year towards lead water service replacement. Total of $7.55 million in lead service replacement. I put a summary together, so all 3 lead water service projects together, we're replacing 690 or installing 690 copper water services. It's about 23% of the total lead water services that are identified in the village. That's just a gigantic jump that we're getting on this. You know, we're not required to start until 2027. What we've talked to the board is we're getting 0% interest over 30 years. We'd rather get as much done early at these construction prices, not anticipating that they will go up in subsequent years. So, feather in the board's cap for this planning. Been talking frequently with our project manager at the IEPA. I thought I'd share this with you, but we had the second highest amount in lead water service funding from the EPA. Elgin's getting $11 million. They're a much larger town than us. We're getting $7.55 million towards lead service replacement. And she said no other municipality is getting $5 million. It's all below $5 million. So again, we really stretched out to make this work. I will tell you, based on that lead water service rate increase, we're only using about 1/3 of the revenue it generates per year. So this isn't using all of our revenue. We're actually able, over 30 years, to go ahead and fund about $20 million in lead service replacement. So you can see we're at about 1/3 of that. Taking a look at the bids that we received, the low bid was submitted by Suburban General Construction. They're a local firm. They do the sewer work as part of our road project, almost projects for us, all satisfactory. They're a firm that we would certainly recommend awarding a contract to. Their bid was 7% below our engineer's estimate of cost, so we are recommending award of contract to Suburban General. And then on the lead water service replacement projects, again, we had 3 low bids. We had the same bidder on each of the projects. It's 5 Star Energy Services. They're based in Wisconsin, just a very, very large firm. They do work nationwide. They've done projects in 5 towns in the state of Illinois, ranging from $4 to $6 million. We called all 5 of the contacts for references, all had good references from them. They have done IEPA low-interest loan work, so they're familiar with there's a lot of requirements with that, a lot of DBE-type requirements. And the average of the 3 bids came in 27% below our engineer's estimate of cost. So we got some very attractive prices, so we're going to be able to replace even more lead water services than we had initially estimated. And we are recommending that we award the contract for all 3 projects to 5 Star Energy.
Derek, thank you. And we're going to vote on each of these individually. We've just addressed the first one, but while you've made your presentation, can you talk about maybe just explaining why we broke up the water service into 3 phases, what the logic was behind that?
Sure. So rather than, if we would have bid the $7.5 million project, that eliminates a lot of the smaller contractors, and we were worried that it might restrict competition. We wanted some of these local plumbing contractors that are familiar with Brookfield and its water system to be able to be competitive, and they may only be able to take one job. So the idea is we bid these and we staggered the bids by 2 days. So a lot of times what you'll find is when a bidder is low and say he's 5% lower than the second low bidder, well, the second low bidder goes back, sharpens the pencil, tries to come down to there, and the first low bidder, if he wants the next job, he'll go back and sharpen the pencil and try to come in a little under. So that was the thought on that, is just to try to get more competitive bids and open it up to more contractors. So,
Okay, thank you. So we're going to go through these. Does anyone have any questions of Derek at this point?
Yeah, thank you for the map. So that we're doing the lead service lines along with the main project along those streets as well?
the streets planned for the water main replacement, yes, there are water service replacements, and we have, not all of them are lead, but about 50 of them are lead on that, so yes.
Great. And what is the timeline for these projects?
They have varying timelines, all projected to be substantially completed by the end of the year.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say that all of them are supposed to be done by the end of the year? I thought it was extending out to 2029. Is that not? No. Did I
No, that was,
misunderstand that?
yeah, excuse me. We prioritize which street should we select the lead water service replacement. We projected our street improvements program out to 2030. So the lead water services all be replaced now, but we're getting out in front of the street improvements program up to
I see.
approximately 2029, 2030.
I see. Okay, thank you. I would just like to, I guess, commend this board and our village staff for being so proactive on this issue. I know it's a mandate, but I think Brookfield has led the way in this, and I am really appreciative of that. And I know the residents, myself included, are as well.
Any other questions or comments? It is impressive, and it's not by accident. It's because of the work of staff and Hancock Engineering, the planning that we've done and the foresight to see this, because as Trustee Naramatsu pointed out, there's a federal mandate that we do this, and they put it out over a period of time. We're starting a lot earlier than anyone else, or even earlier than we were required to do, because it's such an important issue. But by being ready and having the engineering and the foresight, we set ourselves up for this funding. You know, Derek mentioned the sort of unique situation that some of the towns that might have qualified for some of this other grant money withdrew their applications for this year, and we were smart enough to jump into that. And because of that, we're getting, I mean, you said, I think 23% of all our water main, lead service are being done this year in 1 year because of that, with the 0% interest loans, which just allows us to do that much more work, that much more quickly. So it will be a messy summer around here. There'll be a lot of things torn up. We ask the residents patience, but these are very important infrastructure improvements, both the water mains and the lead service. So thank you to staff and Hancock Engineering. So
I just have one quick question. With the bicycle race going through town, are there any impacts prior to the race? I'm sure there won't be any during.
Yeah, not during, and we'll schedule any, I think the 3700 block of Grand, we do have some service replacements, and that'll either be done and restored prior. Actually, it's too close from when they'll start. I anticipate that'll probably be done after the race.
So it'll be like patched? Like,
Patching the pavements afterwards, yes. And just as a reminder, and we're in the works for resurfacing that block of Grand and the Brookfield Avenue from Prairie running east
Okay.
next year. So there'll be patches after the race this year, and by next year, we'll resurface the entire pavement.
Okay.
Next year, we have some discussions about the bike race. It'll be very,
I was gonna say, we can create some additional amenities for the race, maybe some jumps, river jumps.
Right. I just want to make sure if there was anything that was going to
No,
impact
it's
them,
a
that the
great-
race organizers would
Yeah.
be aware.
Great point to bring up, Trustee Gahuli, because there's a lot of projects and things going on in town, and just even the degree of cooperation between Public Works and Hancock, just to coordinate these things so we're not duplicating efforts, tearing up streets and things like that, so.
and if I could, just maybe give the board a little comfort level. So most of these water services would be installed via directional bore. What that means, on Grand, let's talk as an example, cut about a 6x6 hole by the water main, which is in the pavement, but you don't have to trench typically across the street, you directionally bore. So these aren't 6 foot by 35 or 50-foot patches, the pavement width. It's a small access hole, and then he directionally bore into the building. So there's still inconveniences, patches, but it's not the typical open cut that we all see. That'll be the same on the residential streets, is there'll be patches in the pavement, but small 5x5, 6x6, and then they come back and they restore that, and,
Okay.
okay?
All right, thank you. Any other questions or comments on basically the first item about the resolution to award a contract to Suburban General for the water main project? Okay, hearing no other questions or comments, we have a motion and a second on the water main improvements project to Suburban General Construction, the amount of $5,096,158.65.
We have it.
Yes.
Okay, trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Nearmatsu?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to the 3 phases of the lead water service replacement projects. The first item, I'd entertain a motion to pass a resolution to award a contract for the 2024 lead water service replacement project Phase 1 to 5 Star Energy Solutions, in the amount of $2,031,100.
So moved.
Second.
The motion was made by trustee Cote, second by trustee Nearmatsu. Questions or comments on that? Hearing no further questions or comments, roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Nearmatsu?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. The next item, I entertain a motion to pass a resolution to award a contract for the 2024 lead water service replacements project Phase 2 to 5 Star Energy Solutions, in the amount of $2,286,200.
So moved.
Second.
The motion was made by trustee Nearmatsu, second by trustee Gilhuli. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Nearmatsu?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. I'd entertain a motion to pass a resolution to award a contract for the 2024 lead water service replacement project Phase 3 to 5 Star Energy Solutions, the amount of $2,988,500.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by trustee Nearmatsu, second by trustee Ketchmark. Any questions or comments on this item? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Nearmatsu?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
President Carver, if I could
Yes.
just, real quick, echo the board's comments. And first of all, recognize the village board. Several years ago, you took a very courageous, politically courageous step in adopting water rate increases. And I want to commend Derek and Vince. From a staff perspective, Derek has, as he said in his presentation, this is a really big deal. And we are really maximizing how we are going to use zero-interest loans, second in the state of Illinois in terms of the amount that we're getting, only behind a town that's 5 times as big as we are. That's these guys, these 2 gentlemen have put that together and capitalized on it. We got really aggressive bids, and we are going to continue in subsequent phases to try to stretch. These are still public dollars we're using. They're loans from the state of Illinois, which are still public dollars. We are going to be responsible stewards of the public dollars we get, but try to maximize what's coming back here locally to Brookfield. So it's a great job, everybody.
Thank you all. The next item, I'd entertain a motion to pass an ordinance to award a contract for the Village Hall Elevator Maintenance Agreement to Suburban Elevator Company.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by trustee Kaluzny, second by trustee Neermatsu. Okay, we've done some work to get the elevator back going, and as part of that agreement, we need to have a maintenance component going forward, is that correct? And Suburban Elevator is the company that did the repairs and the maintenance, so this is to make sure that it keeps running properly, so. Any questions or comments from the board? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Neermatsu?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, the next item, I'd entertain a motion to pass a resolution authorizing the execution of a local public agency for supplemental preliminary services agreement for the Des Plaines River Trail South Extension Project.
So moved.
Second.
The motion was made by trustee Kaluzny, second by trustee Cote. As the board's aware, we signed off on an intergovernmental agreement with Cook County to get an additional $300,000 in funding needed to restart this project. This is a project that has been working its way through the IDOT process, trying to get this connection to the bike trail. Earlier this year, I believe it was in January, we signed off on the intergovernmental agreement. Now, this contract is awarding to Sea Orba Group basically the $300,000 to go forward. I did have a question that there's the $300,000, but it's, and it was the original grant from Cook County was to not to exceed $300,000, and this is possibly with the two subcontractors up to $317,000. Are we responsible for that remaining $17,000?
We would be, but not alone. There's the original IGA, so it'd be split between the three communities.
Okay.
So if it was divided equally, it'd be a little over $5,000 apiece to make up that 17,000.
Okay. And Derek, what can the board expect to have after this $300,000 further investment through the, it's coming through Cook County, but where will this put us in this project potentially?
Ultimately, this leads to the completion of the Phase 1 report. Just as you mentioned, this project's been on hold for a while this additional work was required. Some of it generated by Cook County Forest Preserve with some of the comments and additional study they wanted. The next step that we would have is we want to meet with all the stakeholders and have Sea Orba give everybody an update, a status of where we're at now and next steps going forward. But ultimately, completion of the Phase 1, and if I took a stab at it, I would tell you you're looking at 12 to 18 months before we get approval of a Phase 1 from IDOT. Next step after that is, I think the board's familiar, is you then go pursue Phase 2 engineering.
I know the board hears those terms, Phase 1 and Phase 2, and we all cringe because we know how long they take, but if we don't keep going on this and didn't start it, we wouldn't even be this far, so. This is a project that we all support, and I can't find anyone really that's against this project, and it's amazing that it can't and hasn't moved faster. I've reached out to, well, federal and state officials to try and expedite this and obtain additional funding, and with Psycho Brookfield and the support of other groups, we're really going to we're going to keep on this, and staff has done an excellent job of keeping this project going, and, we've been the lead agency on it, and I'm proud of that because I think we're the best qualified to do that moving forward, so. Do the board members have any other questions or comments related to this? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Neermatsu?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next item, I'd entertain a motion to pass an ordinance amending Chapter 6 of the Village Code related to the number of Class S liquor licenses.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by trustee Cote, second by trustee Kaluzny. This is more of a change in process about what needs to come in front of the board. The board has, as usual, a very detailed memo, but Tim, can I ask you or Stevie to just provide a brief summary as to what the purpose of this ordinance is? Put one of you on the spot just to give me a chance to stop talking for a minute.
Sure.
Our current code allows for 7 Class S licenses. Annually, we exceed that amount, requiring an ordinance for each and every license that is requested. This request to the board is to amend that ordinance to adjust it more aligned with what we receive annually in requests for licensing. It is a subsidiary license, so any requests do need to have a base license. The classes are listed within the memo. But this would allow us to provide that subsidiary Class S license that is more aligned with the number we see requested annually.
And the Class S's are the outside liquor licenses that we kind of became more popular during COVID, but the outside spaces, whether they're on public or village property, that's what the Class S is related to.
Class S is outdoor on private property. We would still keep and not amend the outdoor liquor licensing on public right-of-way. That will still go before the board.
Okay. Questions or comments from the board? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Neermatu?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. The last item is I entertain a motion to pass an ordinance amending Appendix A entitled Fee Schedule of the Code of Ordinances.
So moved.
Second.
President Garvey,
Oh,
staff
I'm sorry, yeah, I'm
recommend
sorry.
this be tabled.
Actually,
2 weeks.
yes. Do I need a formal motion to table this? There was a change that we wanted to make in this to correct something. Do I need a formal motion to table, or I could just take it off the agenda?
We can just take it off the agenda. We
Okay.
don't need to- We're not going to continue it to next meeting?
Yes, we will be dealing with it at the next meeting.
Okay.
But there'll be a
We'll
change,
post it.
there'll be a change in it, so.
Okay.
All right, so as chair of the meeting, I'm just going to remove this item. There's a correction that we want to make in the fee schedule, so that ends the items we have under new business. And Tim, thank you for reminding me of that. I was on a roll there. Managers report.
Thank you, President Garvey. I just have one item, and that is to introduce Libby Popovic to the community. So, several of you have already met with her. She's already been here for 2 weeks, so the honeymoon period is definitely over, as she knows. And Libby comes to us having practiced law in the area in all facets of land use, municipal and institutional. She's worked economic development with the Berwyn Development Corporation. She has a lot of contacts in the area, and we've already seen the benefits of her work and her involvement. And I want to welcome enthusiastically Libby to her first village board meeting, but it seems like she's been around here much longer than that.
I was going to say she started officially too, but I know she was in the building a lot, and
She's been in the building.
I mean, I've had the pleasure of meeting her, working with her already, and it's been very exciting to meet her and her energy and experience. So we got her up and running right away, and each day I come in and she's still here. I'm like, we haven't scared her away, so it's like, that's a good thing. So looking forward to all the great things we're going to do together. So congratulations on behalf of myself and the board. So. Okay, that ends the items we have on the village board agenda. So at 7:23 PM, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
The motion to adjourn was made by trustee Cote, second by trustee Gilhuli. Roll call, please.
Trustee Ketchmark?
Aye.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Neermatu?
Aye.
Trustee Gahuli?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, we're adjourned at